अर्जुन उवाच अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथम् एतद् विजानीयाम् त्वम् आदौ प्रोक्तवान् इति. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. Okay. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed the science to him? What is this? How is it possible? So it's not that Arjuna is simply hearing and accepting everything, whatever Krishna says, as blind faith. No. So Arjuna is he's asking that how is it possible? Okay. You said that you have spoken this thing to Vivaswan, but Vivaswan is sun god is very senior to you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. So here Arjuna doubt is that how can Krishna, Devaki son, so age is almost same, he is Devaki's son, he is Kunti's son, so almost same age, and how it is possible that he instructed this thing millions of years ago to sun god? Purport: Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord, so how could he not believe Krishna's words? Prabhupada is saying. The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself. Very good. But then for whom he is inquiring? But for those who do not believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the demons who do not like the idea that Krishna should be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, only Arjuna inquires on this point, as if he were himself not aware of the philosophy of Godhead or Krishna. Because there are many demons, many people who don't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even before everything existed, before creation, Krishna was there. Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. They don't understand, they don't accept this point that Krishna is the Sarvakaran Karanam. Krishna is the Anadiradir Govinda. Okay. Krishna is the root cause of all the incarnation. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. They don't understand that. So, for those people, Arjuna is asking that, please explain this. How is it possible? Because if Arjuna understand, he is anyway Nitya Parikar, he is eternal associate of Krishna, so he understands. But if he does not ask this question, many people will say it is just not logical. Okay, so Arjuna is asking this question, and now Krishna will clear this doubt. So this doubt is for the people who are demonic mentality, who are atheist. Okay. Further, Prabhupada is telling, as it will be evident from the 10th chapter, Arjuna knew perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and the last word in transcendence. Of course, Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki. How it is possible? So Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki on this earth. How Krishna remained the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eternal original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. If Krishna existed there also, then how he took birth as son of Devaki, how it is possible? So a common man cannot understand. For them it is very difficult to understand. Therefore, to clarify this point, Arjuna put this question before Krishna so that he himself could speak authoritatively. So now Arjuna is asking so that when Krishna will speak, he will speak and he will clear doubt. So because Krishna himself is speaking, so it is a great authoritative sentence. Okay. So that is that. Why does Arjuna question about this doubt? How come Arjuna has got this doubt? So this is the first part. Now second is, if Arjuna is convinced, so Prabhupada is saying whether Arjuna is convinced of Krishna's position, so Arjuna is convinced that chapter 10 it is mentioned. Okay. Now further, so Krishna is the supreme authority is accepted by the whole world, not only at present but from time immemorial. So Krishna is the accepted authority. So if he speaks, everybody will understand. And the demons alone reject him. So who does not accept Krishna's authority? The demons. Anyway, since Krishna is the authority accepted by all, Arjuna put this question before him in order that Krishna would describe himself without being depicted by the demons, who always try to distort him in a way understandable to the demons and their followers. Very important one. What Prabhupada is saying, that demons who always try to distort him in a way understandable to the demons and their followers. So these demoniac mentality people, they explain Krishna in such a way, and they completely change the philosophy, they completely change the form of Krishna and everything. They explain in such a way like these demons and their followers only can understand. So in order to please their followers, they will say anything about Krishna, and they will say, okay, this is like that. Krishna is just like a normal human boy, or like that. Many things they will speak. Or some people even say that it is just a mythology. It does not exist only. Okay. So Krishna now himself will speak. So these doubts will be eradicated completely. That is why Arjuna is asking this question. Further, it is necessary that everyone for his own interest know the science of Krishna. Prabhupada is saying that everyone must understand the science of Krishna. Okay, it is necessary for everyone, because we cannot say anyway, for me it's not necessary. I believe, I have faith in Krishna, no problem. So that's not good. Everyone should understand this philosophy. Okay, because you have faith but you don't know the science behind this, then it will be difficult sometime. Sometime other person will come and he will explain some other theory in very nice explanation, presentation, then one may get changed, one mindset will get changed, one may change his faith. That's how people change religion, because they don't understand the science, right? Many people change religion nowadays, many Sanatan Dharma followers also changing, because nobody taught them the science of Krishna. It was coming down, many rituals, many practices are coming down in the family tradition, and then what happened? People don't understand the science behind it, and when the next generation ask, why are we doing this particular ritual, why are we doing this, that, then people say, we don't know, but it has been happening since many generations, so we are doing, so let us do it. So the modern people, they say, no, actually there is no meaning behind it, so we are not going to do this, like that people speak. So that is because they don't know the science of behind the whole process. So they say there is no importance of it, there is no significance of this in my life, so why to do this, why to waste time, energy, so leave it. So that's how they don't follow the process. And then when some other person comes and he gives proper logic and proper something, his presentation is so nice, so they feel, oh, this religion is so nice, so let us join that, and that's all they change. Because that is why we have to know the science behind our Sanatan Dharma, and we have to teach the science to the next generation about Sanatan Dharma. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult. Okay. Therefore, when Krishna himself speaks about himself, it is auspicious for all the worlds. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange, because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint. But those who are devotees heartily welcome the statements of Krishna from when they are spoken by Krishna himself. So Prabhupada is saying that the demons will not understand. Demons will not appreciate this. Okay. Demons, such explanation by Krishna himself may appear to be very strange. Even authorities saying. But for those people, if you say them, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for them it looks like very strange. Hey, what you are speaking? What is the proof? Like that they speak. How it is possible? Like that. So, they will not understand. Even though Krishna himself is saying, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, Matta Sarvam Pravarti. I am above everyone. Sarva Lok Maheshwaram. I am the controller of all the controllers. Now, what is the doubt here? No doubt. But people will not understand because they have demonic mentalities. Okay. So, for them, these kind of signs, even though it is spoken by Krishna himself, this kind of signs will be very strange. But devotees, they will welcome with full heart, they will welcome these statements of Krishna. Okay. So the devotees will always worship such authoritative statements of Krishna because they are always eager to know more and more about him. So devotees are very happy. They want to know more and more about Krishna. And when Krishna himself is speaking about Krishna, then it is very good. So Gita is what? In Gita, Krishna speaks about himself. Many facts. Okay. Krishna says that everything is emanated from him. He is the supreme controller. He is the seed-giving father for everything. Aham bij pratapitaha. Right? He speaks all the signs. And because Krishna himself is speaking, so it is authoritative statements. The atheist who consider Krishna an ordinary man may in this way come to know that Krishna is superhuman, that he is Satchidanand Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, that he is transcendental and that he is above the domination of the modes of material nature and above the influence of time and space. So when any atheist hears these statements of Krishna spoken in Bhagavad Gita, then they will also believe that Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. A devotee of Krishna's, like Arjuna, is undoubtedly above any misunderstanding of the transcendental position of Krishna. A devotee like Arjuna, he has no misunderstanding about the position of Krishna. Arjuna's putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt. So, because one may think Arjuna also has a doubt. No. Arjuna is very much clear about the position of Krishna, but he is asking all the questions for the people who don't believe, for the common people. So, Arjuna is putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt by the devotee to defy the atheistic attitude of persons who consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being, subject to the modes of material nature. Text number 5. Okay, so here demoniac standpoint Prabhupada has explained about Krishna's position, what demons think. Okay, so first point is that they don't like the idea that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Demons don't like this idea. Then second, demons reject that Krishna is the Supreme Authority. And demons distort Krishna according to their understanding. Whatever they understand, they say like that only. And next fourth point is that demons find the explanation about Krishna, like Krishna himself gives in Bhagavad Gita or from Bhagavatam. These demonic mentality people find this kind of explanation very strange. For them it's like, hey, what is this? How, what you are speaking? Like that. Why? Because they study from their own viewpoint. Okay. This is very important thing, because demons, many people, if you explain them, they cannot see picture from other side. They think from their side only. I cannot go to sun planet, so nobody can go. I cannot swim in the water, so nobody can swim. I cannot fly, so nobody can fly. I cannot live in the moon planet, so nobody can live, so there is no life existing. That's what people speak. Okay, they say, oh, in moon there is no life, in this planet there is no life, there is no other planet where life is possible except Earth. In sun planet there is no life, no living entities are there, because they are seeing from their own standpoint, right? Because when scientists send something towards sun, because of excessive heat, everything got burnt, so they think, because nobody can reach to sun planet. But you see, we cannot live inside the water, right? In normal condition. Okay, of course you can go with oxygen mask and other thing, but with a normal body you cannot live inside the water. But fish can live, and there are many creatures who can live inside the water, right? So God has created their body in such a way so that they can happily live inside the water. Even they are happy only inside the water. If you bring fish outside the water, it's not able to live. But how you are able to live then? Because humans body is created by God according to like as per this environment, earth environment, not in the water. For birds, God has created their body so that they can easily fly, right? They have got wings, their bones are specifically designed, lightweight, they can easily fly, right? So similar way, why cannot God create some living entity with such a body which can easily live in the fire? Why? If God can create a living entity whose body is very much compatible to live inside the water, inside the air, inside the earth, there are living entities who can live inside the earth, right? They make very small hole and they inside that deep, they can live there. You cannot live, I cannot live there. We need suffocation, fresh air, we need fresh air, right? But so same way, there are living entities in the sun planet, but their body is designed in such a way that they are very much compatible with fire, right? So like fish comes out of water, fish feels problem, and I go inside the water, I feel problem, right? So same way, if I go to sun planet, there is problem with this body. If sun planet people come out, then there may be some problem, okay, because they are compatible with fire. But these demonic people, they think, oh, there is no life, because they can only see from their standpoint. I cannot eat 100 chapati, means nobody can eat. What is this? Bhima can eat. Right? So, why? What is the problem? I cannot run 2 kilometers, so nobody can run. What is this logic? But these demonic people have this logic, because I cannot see God, there is no God. God has no body. Because I cannot do this, so nobody can do this. Because I have never seen a person with half animal and half man. So it's mythology, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Only from your standpoint, your viewpoint, it is not possible. But if you have a broad understanding, then everything is possible. Yes? So this is the demoniac mentality. Now, in text number 4.4, Arjuna asked this question for the benefit of others. So now Krishna has got opportunity to speak directly about himself in the next few verses. Because Arjuna asked this question, now Krishna can, because he directly, this question pointing to Krishna, so now Krishna can speak directly about himself. So in next few verses, Krishna will speak about himself. Okay. Text number 5. Okay, we will see one shloka. Then we will start Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vatitani janmani tava charjuna tani aham veda sarvani natam veta parantapa. The blessed Lord said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. We have many births, but you cannot remember anything. I remember everything. In the Brahma Samhita, we have information of many incarnations of the Lord. It is stated there, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahmaji is saying, I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, Krishna, who is the original personality, absolute, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into unlimited forms, is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing forms of the Lord are usually understood by the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. Okay. It is also stated in Brahma. So here Brahmaji is saying that even though Lord is Advaitam, he is like Adi Purush, but still he is always young and fresh. And these all things very difficult by the scholars to understand, but devotees can easily understand. Okay. It is also stated in Brahma Samhita, Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Akaroda Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavata Param Pumanayo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations such as Rama, Nrsimha, and many sub-incarnations as well. But who is the original personality of Godhead known as Krishna, and who incarnates personally also. Okay, so all these are incarnation of Krishna, and Krishna sometimes comes personally also. In the Vedas also it is said that the Lord, although one without a second, nevertheless manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Vaidurya stone, which changes color, yet still remains one. All those multi-forms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of the Vedas. Just by studying Vedas, one will not understand all these facts. But when one performs devotional service, then one will understand this. Okay, when one becomes the loving devotee of Krishna, then he will understand all this fact just like that. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktau. Atma bhaktau, dear devotees of Krishna will understand this thing. Even we have seen before also Arjuna, Krishna said to Arjuna, because you are my favorite devotee, you are my friend, that's why I am telling all these secrets to you. So even for understanding, so that's what, for understanding Bhagavad Gita, one has to become the devotee of Krishna. Otherwise, by using the scholarship or this intelligence and all those things, one will not understand. But if one is not even one is not literate, one don't even know the reading, then also one will understand Bhagavad Gita if he has that full faith, love for Krishna. We have this example, the story of Bhagwan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He met one Brahmin in South India who was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down, and he was not knowing anything to read, and people were laughing at him. So Mahaprabhu asked, why you are doing this? He said, because my Guru said to read, so I am trying to read. Even though I don't know how to read, but because my Guru said, so I am reading. So Mahaprabhu said, okay, that's good, but why are you crying while reading? Because people used to laugh that this guy is making show of reading Bhagavad Gita and crying. So he said, because my Guru said to read Bhagavad Gita, I am reading. And whenever I open Bhagavad Gita, I see Krishna sitting on the chariot, driving the chariot of Arjuna in the battlefield. So I can just see that. So I feel by seeing this merciful nature of Krishna, I am crying. So then Mahaprabhu understood that he is on a very elevated platform. Because he is having full faith in the words of Guru, so he is directly having darshan of Krishna, the Parthasarthi. So even one may not be very scholar, one may not be able to read, but if he has full faith and love for Krishna, he will understand the whole science. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktao. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord, and whenever the Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. So when Lord comes, his associates also comes. Arjuna is one of these devotees, and in this verse it is understood that some millions of years ago when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna in a different capacity was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that the Lord remembered the incidents, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. So that's the difference between Jiva and God. God remembered everything, Krishna remembered everything, but Arjuna could not remember. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as the mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall what had happened in these various past births. Okay, he could not remember, but Krishna remembers. So even though he is a mighty hero, he is addressed like that, but still he is not able to recall the incidents. Okay, but he existed. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you were existing, I was also there. Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be in the material estimation, how much powerful or great or strong one may be, but still he is living entity, can never equal the Supreme Lord. So one should not get too much proud. Like Hiranyakashipu becomes so proud. I am God. Ravana, I can defeat God himself. So one should not become. However it is possible, one becomes so strong, so powerful, but still nobody can become equal to God. Okay? Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. Even the constant companion, the associates, they cannot become equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita as infallible Achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself, even though he is in the material contact. Okay? Krishna will never come down from his position. Okay? Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects, even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Even someone is liberated like Arjuna, becomes the companion of Krishna, but still he cannot be equal. He cannot be equal to Krishna the God. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord, but by the divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. So, even though sometimes it may happen that devotee may forget. He sometimes forget the nature of the Lord, but by the mercy of Krishna, he will again understand. But a demon will never understand. Okay. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by demoniac brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not. despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. Okay, because they are eternal. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body. Because living entity changes the body, so he forgets everything. But the Lord remembers because he does not change his Satchidanand body. Very important. Living entity, when he changes the body, but Krishna's body is Satchidanand, so he does not change his body, so he remember everything. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Very important point. Okay, so one cannot say that this is Krishna's soul, this is Krishna's body, this is Krishna's mind. No, Krishna is Advaita. There is no difference between Krishna's body and Krishna's himself. Okay, everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from the ordinary living entity. Okay? Even when he descends to the material platform, the demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, as the Lord explains in the following verses. Okay? Okay. Okay, so now 4.6 we will do tomorrow. 4.5 and 4.6 has a difference between it explains difference between living entity and the God, Krishna. Okay, so 4.6 we will discuss tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.